Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to use the new line paths modeling feature in Flexcom, which is useful for modeling arbitrary geometries like rigid spools. So it's in the $model section. Just pop in the line paths keyword. It's an explicitly defined path. I'll just give it a name. Let's just call it spool. Give it a start location. The start name, let's just call it start, and we started at the origin. Give it an end name. You don't need to give an end location because it's built up incrementally, as we'll see. We'll just give it a default mesh of 1 meter. So now we just define different segments along the path, and these are defined incrementally, so it's said in terms of offsets. So let's put the first one 10 meters along in the y direction. The bend radius, let's just say 1 meter. And once we put in another section, we need at least 2 sections to build a model. And you should see it popping up on the model view on the right hand side. Here we go. So I'll just turn off these labels so you can see. So I've just got 2 sections. I'll put in a third as well. So very quick to build up, as you can see. So this is 3 dimensions. I've got different dimensions in each of the 3, so the X, Y, and Z, to give a fully 3D spool. You can just keep building up incrementally. Throw in another one there just so you see how it's done. So again, we'll go along, let's say, maybe make this one 20 along the Y. So very quick to use, instantaneous model building. You can just turn on, show you some options where you can change the bend radius. This is a bend radius of 1, so if I make that larger, so let's say 5, you can see it's very, very large. That's not reasonable, so let's put it back to 1. We can turn on the mesh density, so it'll be just a uniform mesh at the minute. And you can control the mesh at the corners as well. It defaults to something quite small, so you can make it bigger or smaller as you see fit. I just zoom in here, just give you an idea. So it's much tighter mesh around the corner than the straight sections. If you want to just apply some properties, let's say for example, there's lots of predefined sets which are readily available. As you can see, once I start typing the element set name here, just pop up a list. There we can see. So there's already sets, defined element sets for each of the segments. I've defined segment 1, 2, 3, 4. Also sets for the corners and the straight sections and so on, which makes it easy for you to identify and apply properties to various sections. If you need more sets, different properties, let's pop in another section here. So line path sections, same line, it's spool. And the section, let's just call this one a clamp. And I'll start that off at, let's say, that's 10 meters, let's say 4 meters to 6 meters. So it's about the middle of the first section. We can't see that just yet. I'll just pop on some colors so you can see it more easily. So it'll be set equals clamp, and I'll just color that one, let's say in yellow, just to. So there you can see I've now defined a new subsection. That's obviously too long, but you can change the lengths and the properties as you need to. So to summarize the line paths keyword, this creates all the geometry. It puts all the points in place, so you're defining vertices, point-to-point locations. You can also define the bend radius and so on. You can define all the mesh settings, so you can control where the mesh is refined or coarse and so on. In terms of applying properties, you can apply properties to these sections which are already predefined. If you need more sections, custom sections for custom components, you can define them using line path sections. And then from there on, it's just the same as you would normally build your Flexcom model with geometric sets, hydrodynamic sets, and so on. If there's anything else I want to mention. So if you wanted to put in like a point at a very specific area, so let's say I want to do a line location, I'd have a line again called spool, and label might be, let's just call it 0.1, and I can put in a distance, let's say it would be 5 meters along. So if I turn on the node labels, see I've actually got a point there defined as 0.1 where I could apply a boundary condition or a point force or something if I wanted to. So again, if you want to apply sort of boundary conditions, this would be under the lowercase section. Boundary keyword. and I can just pick off, let's say, the start or the end and use these as node labels. So I can do something like that to apply a boundary condition in, say, at the start there, 3 degrees of freedom, or I can plan a point load if I wanted to as well, say on that temporary point I've added. So I could do something like that, type equals constant. Forgive my typing skills, it's taking a little while. And I'd be looking for that node, which would be, I forget the keyword format. So it's node number first, so it would be 0.1. So something like that. If you need more help, just open up the online help and look for line paths, and all of the information that you require, you'll find it there as well. Just one other final point to note, that when you're defining distances along the lines, they are what we term virtual distances. So we ignore the bend radius. We assume it's point to point from a straight line to straight line to straight line. So if you wanted to find something from the halfway along, it's exactly half the length of the first section, ignoring the bend radius. That's just something small to note at the end. If you have any problems, as I said, consult the online help or give us a call on the software support line. That's sw.support@woodgroup.com. Thank you for watching. If I turn on my